History was made today at Flushing Meadows in New York as Novak Djokovic confirmed himself and cemented his place as, in my opinion, the greatest of all time. And I don't think that's going to just be my opinion. That's going to be the opinion across the board. This man is quite simply the greatest player now who's ever played the game, male or female. He equals Margaret Court now, 24 Grand Slam titles, one ahead of Serena Williams and one ahead of the likes of Rafael Nadal. And also Roger Federer sits back in the list now at 20, but he stands alone now as the greatest and most winning Grand Slam player in tennis history. Novak Djokovic defeating Daniil Medvedev in 3 sets. There was a slightly precarious moment there, second set. It was getting tight towards the back end of that set. And there was certainly a moment where if Medvedev had have picked up that second set, especially in that tie break, and taken it to 7-6 in the second and being 1 set all after 2 hours and 35 minutes, then you could have seen potentially the match go a little bit late and there'd be some problems for Djokovic, but he was too good after that, breaking Medvedev. After, it was very tight as well in the third set. There was a break each where it went break to Djokovic, break back to Medvedev, but then Djokovic got the job done. He was just far too good. But the point I want to make is he is the greatest now, and I don't want anyone coming at me with a different opinion. Like him or loathe him, as a pure tennis player, there's just no one better. A lot of it comes down to the pure numbers. I feel like the fact that he's got 24 Grand Slam titles as a male player stands alone, and we all know that. But his record when it comes to ATP 1000 tournaments, total tournament wins as well, is massive. He'll be looking to stand alone in that space as well. But for me, the biggest argument of the lot is the fact that from his first Grand Slam win, which I believe was around about 2007, 2008, the Australian Open, since then, he's had to effectively play Roger Federer through a lot of his best years and Rafael Nadal at his very best. Andy Murray in that conversation as well in recent times. Daniil Medvedev has come through, Dominic Thiem, Carlos Alcaraz. There's been players that he's had to take on the whole time. Now, I've always loved Roger Federer growing up. He's always someone that I've admired the most. But in his early days, I feel like Roger Federer, I wouldn't say had it easy, but playing against the likes of Andy Roddick in Grand Slam finals, playing the likes of your Marat Safins, Leighton Hewitt's, Evgeny Kafelnikovs around that era, was certainly a bit of a different time to what Novak has had to go through. Rafael Nadal stands alone as well. He's beaten everybody in some of the best Grand Slam finals you've ever seen. And we know there's been some historic ones. Federer at Wimbledon all those years ago, Federer at the Australian Open. There's been some wonderful clashes between those two. But Djokovic has to stand alone now as the very best. No one can come anywhere near him in terms of his ability to win the big matches. And at his own doing, and this is where he faults himself, he's been defaulted at the US Open before. He missed a couple of US Opens because of the vaccine issues. He retired once due to heat in Australia, I believe it was. So there's 4 Grand Slam titles there just off the top of the head that he's missed out on. So he could quite easily be quite close to 30 at this point in time. So for me, he's the very best. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. But for me, Novak Djokovic is the greatest. Don't at me with anything else, or if you do, come up with a good reason. All lave the GOAT, Novak.